Good morning, this is Houndog Steve wishing you a very pleasant morning, and welcome to my channel and a quick catch-up, a sort of vlog going on here as to what's been happening in the last couple of weeks or so. And as you can see, the bus behind me is getting prepared for our trip. And anyway, let's go do a little walkabout and a talk, and yeah, I'll show you what's been going on. Okay, here we go. Yeah, so basically I've just been working out some, teething problems with the bus here. It is an older model, of course, and there was a couple of issues with the propane fridge and also the propane hot water heater. But I got up and took a look at the roof, and whilst it's not in bad condition, it's not in great condition either. So I've decided to get a one-piece aluminum roof put on the motorhome, which will make it virtually bulletproof. It is a lifetime guarantee not to leak. All the seals will be replaced around the air conditioners and vents and so on and so forth. So I decided that it was worth it, even though it is a slightly older vehicle, just because the chassis is in such good condition. The engine is a very, very low mileage. It's a diesel, as I mentioned before, and the shell outside is also in really good shape. There's a couple of little scratches, but I always find if you have something new, there's something out there just waiting to scratch it anyways, so you might as well get it over with. And anyways, the engine being an older diesel, and like I say, low kilometers, but there's no sensors on it. None of this electronic gadgetry that they put on that basically ruined the efficiency of these engines. I mean, it's amazing how crazy and upside down this has been. And same with the transmission. It's all pressure driven and not electronic switching and valves and so on and so forth. So yes, as the basic foundation of this vehicle is so sound, I figured it was worthwhile to get that done. And that should be happening very near future. And also coming up is the removal of those two batteries closer to the bulkhead, and it'll be replaced by a lithium iron phosphate battery. Now, I've done some research on these lithium iron phosphate, and they are pretty safe. They're not the same as the lithium ion batteries. Much more sound, much more safe, much less likely to catch fire, and you get a lot more power and life out of a battery like that than you will out of those two. I think the one I'm getting, it's a 300 amp hour, and it is equivalent to 6 of those 12 volt lead acid batteries. So when you're going off grid, you need to have that kind of backup, and of course that will come with solar panels that you could just prop them up outside and catch the sun, and generate your own power, which is kind of nice. The only thing it won't run is the air conditioner, but I do have an onboard generator, as I said, which can run that if I absolutely need to. This is a great little backfield. Jasmine comes down here all the time to play. We throw sticks around. I haven't mowed it for a week or so because it has been so dry. It's been unbelievable. We've had nothing more than a sprinkle of rain in the last 2.5 weeks or so. And I was talking to a guy the other day, and they were digging out a tree root, and it was dry right the way down 4 feet. So yes, we're getting now into zero burn situation, especially after the ice storm, and all of those branches came down. There is so much dry tinder in the bush right now. You're at extremely high risk from a dry lightning strike or discarded cigarette, fireworks, you name it. So I'd say the biggest downside that I've experienced so far with the bus here is having to go to the pump out station. And these composting toilets, yeah, they're still a little iffy. There's ones that you basically incinerator. It's a waste incinerator, but you know, you use so much propane to do that, it's unbelievable. So pain in the butt though it is, I've got it down to about every three or 4 weeks I have to empty the black water tank. And that day has come today, so I'll be tearing all of this down. Everything will go, the side out will go in, and we'll be heading down to the free pump out station, thankfully provided by the municipality. So here we are with the chickens, and we have 3 new chickens. These white ones are Andalusian chickens, and they were donated from a woman who was being just devastated by raccoons. And anyway, we got 3 of them, and they are fitting in very, very well. And they lay, look at that, they lay blue eggs. Yeah, absolutely amazing. We're getting between 5 and 7 eggs a day now. And of course, these little chicks in here, they're running free, and they are as tame as all get out. No problem sitting on my hand picking them up. They don't run away. The kids have been handling them ever since they were basically big enough to hold in their hand, so they are completely tame. Anyway, these were the red sex link. They were bred with the Wyandotte rooster, and there's a little bit of brown on the feathers, but they are essentially all white. And like I say, they are growing really fast. And these little guys, these are the purebred Wyandottes, and they're a little behind. They're not quite fully feathered out, but they are all hens. So with these 4 hens and the 3 new ones, that's 7, and the 4 we already have, that is 11 hens and a rooster. So like I say, we're getting a good supply of eggs every day. They're all pretty happy. No one's died yet. Because chickens can be funny. Chickens can be very aggressive sometimes. And yeah, we found that out before when we mixed in the Wyandottes with the red sex link. When we first got the 10 chickens, it was like, oh my god, they were going to murder them. But look at these guys. Look how sprightly they are. Anyway, I'm glad they've all done well. And we'll see what they look like in a couple of more months. Anyway, I can't tell you how nice it is to be eating organic, fresh eggs every single day. Now what I find interesting is that the 2 white chickens there, they were born basically within 2 days of the Wyandottes, and they're almost double in size. So there you go. I'm so glad that the owners here love these chickens as much as I do. And of course, as I said, these chicks have been a real winner with the kids. Anyway, I sure do like chickens. Okay, it's bedtime in the coop. Everybody's in. All friends together. But this, look at these little guys. They still sleep together in their own little nest. Isn't that cute? Chickens are so much fun. So, this is the garden I've been allowed to use to put veggies in, and we're all sharing that bounty. And considering it was planted so late, it is not doing too bad at all. I had to sort out the onions. Very hard to get onion sets, and of course seeds take 2 years to even get to this point. So these are very poor quality onion sets. I don't know how well they will do. That row over there is carrots and bush beans. These I thought were bush beans over here, but as you can see, they're runners. So I'm going to have to put something up for them to climb up. So over there is the garlic. It's about 2 or 3 weeks off for finishing, ready to be pulled. And of course beets. I happen to love beets because you get of course all the goodness from the beet greens and then the beet themselves, and of course you can preserve those into pickles, pickled beets, and there you go, you get yourself a winter treat as well. But no, considering how late I was planting, the garden is not doing too badly. There's some squash here that's starting to really just come on. There's a couple of flowers come out. Tomatoes, of course. These peas on the outside are a shelling pea, and the lighter green ones on the inside are a snow pea. But the idea is to grow these tomatoes right the way up around this frame, because the tomatoes are, after all, a vine. So this old garage is a great idea for a trellis. I'm sure you can find these anywhere on Facebook Marketplace. You probably pick one up for 50-60 bucks uncovered, but this is a great trellis to grow things up. Now on the inside here we've got some peppers, different varieties of peppers, some red sweet, some hot peppers, another tomato plant. It's doing well. They love the heat, of course. There are some sweet potatoes, a few more little beets. When I separated them out I didn't have enough room over there, so I plonked a few in here. Cabbage is getting eaten to death by Japanese beetles. Look at this. They are voracious. Anyway, hopefully they will all get pulled into the cabbage and leave the rest alone. I just trimmed these out last night, and I'm trying to spray off with water to get rid of any eggs or larvae, because I believe it's mostly the larvae that does the damage with a Japanese beetle, just like any other grub. So there we have some fresh onions, some basil, another tomato. Now hit this both sides, a runner bean, and at the other end, ooh, look, a nearly ripe tomato down there. Won't be long. Yes, these are cucumbers, and they're just starting to take off now, but I am now having to water every night just to keep some moisture in the ground. Not enough. We need a good rain. So here we have two kinds of potatoes. We put yellow potatoes in, and we put in russet potatoes. And I just had a few new potatoes because they're flowered. Flowering is when you get new potatoes, and when you let them die off. And there you go, look, there's your Japanese beetle right there, 3 of them. Little devils, absolutely voracious. I've been hand picking mostly as best I can, but they are a fairly recent invader to Canada. A few years ago I'd never heard of Japanese beetles, but here we are. And this is what's happened since our winters have gotten a lot milder. We're not getting those really bitterly cold Februaries to kill off the larvae. We really didn't have a lot of pests in Canada at one time just because of that. It was a saving grace. So yeah, we've got quite a few tomatoes coming on there. Pretty pleased with that. I don't know if you know that tomatoes are self-pollinators, so this is called tickling your tomatoes. You tickle these flowers and they will pollinate each other, and you get a much bigger yield. I'm kind of glad to see that the birds are getting here. You can see there's a little bit of bird poop on the leaves. They eat a lot of bugs, and this is the whole idea of permaculture, is having things sort of growing together. You'll notice that I haven't been 100% on the weeds. I just kind of pull them up when they're flowering and go into seed, then I just lay them down. Any leaves like this just go into pathways, mulch, try and keep the moisture in as best as possible. But yeah, I don't have any problems with having a bit of an untidy garden and letting, you know, some of nature's own plants grow here. You know, clovers, and I try and pull the grasses out if I can, as much as I can. But yeah, I find that when you keep things as natural as possible, it tends to keep things in balance. And I've had pretty good results so far by, instead of fighting nature, trying to go along with nature a little bit. Now, I'm not saying that will work in a large scale situation when you've got 300 acres, but certainly in a small scale like this, it's quite possible to get that balance and to see the difference. Now, I don't know what happened with my cilantro. I don't know whether... Yeah, I don't know what happened to that. And the dill's the same. All of a sudden it just started dying off, browning off. I'm not quite sure what that is. Unless it is these guys. Look, there you go. Mating Japanese beetles. So I think this is one of the things that people don't always recognize about our changing climate, and it only takes very minor changes to upset your garden. So now we're in a situation where we had a cold, wet spring. Like, it was almost too wet when I first started digging in here, and now we've gone into, like I say, this extended period of dry weather. And you know, your average rainfall might be the same every year, but you know what? If it doesn't come at the right time, it can be devastating. I've been looking around at some of the corn in the fields, you know, and they say knee-high by the 4th of July. Well, it's not even knee-high yet. So the corn yield will be down significantly, I believe, this year. But yeah, we've taken for granted that we have these, you know, fairly even seasons, that we have these rains on a regular basis, and when that changes, like I say, it can make a huge difference in your garden. But other than that, I have just been enjoying being on a kind of vacation at this wonderful location, and there are trails back there in the woods. There's quite a few acres here, but yeah, I've just been enjoying some downtime. And of course I have been keeping an eye on the crazy stuff that's happening around the world, and especially in Canada here. My God, you know, we're really moving very, very quickly now. Bill C5, this is a federal bill, basically gave the federal government sweeping powers to override provinces and native territorial treaties if it means that they can you know, get more resources for Canada, oil, minerals, that kind of stuff. And this has gone all the way down to the municipalities, and this is probably one of the things that I am most worried about, is the fact that any council now over 6 members, the mayor gets what they call strong mayor powers. So the mayor can now veto a motion regardless of how many people on council voted for it. You could have 100% vote by council and the mayor can veto that vote, or a mayor can introduce a motion without support and get it passed without the support of council. So basically the public has now completely lost any kind of input into the political structure. And you know, there are now natives meeting all over Canada to discuss the loss of rights under this Bill C5, and of course Bill C2 basically allows the government to decide what is and what isn't mis or disinformation, and to basically censor anything that they deem is either inappropriate or goes against the narrative, or they just don't like it. And this is very, very worrisome. The freezing of bank accounts, very, very worrisome. This is something that everybody should be up in arms about, regardless of your political stripe, because wow, you shut down someone's bank account, you send their life into a tailspin. And this is absolutely unconscionable, doing this for political reasons. So we're moving into a heavily censored situation. This is basically China or Russia in the heavily communistic days. You know, we're looking at kangaroo courts. We had a situation the other day where a musician, a religious musician and a pastor who was playing music, has basically been cancelled because he holds traditional family values and leans towards the MAGA group of people. Well, you know, this is censorship at its worst. It absolutely is, and it's a blast in the face, because I can guarantee you that if this was an Islamic musician, okay, it would be no problem at all. Okay, it seems to be Christianity is really taking an absolute pounding here, and again, you know, the audacity to shut somebody down, to force a venue to cancel for political motives because this guy doesn't happen to think the same way as you do. I mean, it would be different, you know, if he was promoting all kinds of violence and, you know, anarchy, but that's not the case. So these are difficult times, my friends, and this is a time when you have to speak up and let your voice be heard. Because if you don't, in fact, I saw something on Facebook that if you don't stand up right now, your children will never have the opportunity to stand up, because that's what we're looking at. And I've just come across some information, well, not information, it's a prediction of what Carney's Canada will look like after 4 years and his agenda. And it really is, you will think that you have gone to China, you will be surveilled everywhere you go, and any form of any form of disagreement with the official narrative, the official line, will be prosecuted. You will have your bank account frozen, you will be shut out of, just like you did during COVID. I mean, wow. Okay, so that's it from me. I've got a couple of videos coming up from Druthers, the Absurdity Observer, and wins. The wins for the last month, and there has been quite a few significant wins for the team here. So I do actually feel cautiously optimistic. I do see signs of light that the public are starting to realize that something is seriously going wrong, that some of this ideology is just not working, is contradictory, and inherently biased. I mean, it's not even, it just doesn't even achieve. It just, in fact, there's been companies have come out, and that's why they have dropped all of this woke stuff inside with internal politics, because it was so divisive. People were fighting with each other all the time. There was no harmony in the workspace, and so yeah, it is interesting that the contradictory, inclusivity, diversity, it all sounds very equality, equity. It all sounds so wonderful, doesn't it? But in reality, it is not working, and so many large corporations are now backing away from this. And this, again, is a good thing, because that's what the public see. That's what the public sees. Oh, this stuff it's gone out of the stores. Wow, look at that. So, yes, cautious optimism that we are creeping out of this cavern that has been dug for us to hide what is really going on. So anyway, that's about it from me, and I hope this finds you as well as I feel. Yes, eating those fresh eggs. It'll put hairs on your chest, my friend. Okay, so if you've enjoyed this video, please like, comment, subscribe below, and in the meantime, this is Houndog Steve wishing you a very pleasant morning, and we'll talk very, very shortly. See you now. Bye.